To Dr. Hector Macalalag, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Division of Agusan del Sur. Our guest speaker, Dr. Elvira V. Chua, Executive Director and Provost. Dr. Adeline M. Costello Abrea, Dean for Academics and Multicultural Education. Professor Cornelio L. Lavo Jr., Director of Finance and Administration. To Dr. Maria Teresita A. Bulton, Head Center for Teaching and Learning, Philippine Normal University, Mindanao. Members of the Management Committee of PNU Mindanao, faculty and staff, students, fellow LPT passers, my family and relatives, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to start by sharing to you the life of Joseph from the Bible. The life of Joseph can be found in Genesis chapters 37 to 50. Joseph was one of Jacob's 12 sons. His father loved him more than any of the others and gave him a colored cloak. His brothers were jealous of him and sold him into slavery. He was taken to Egypt and eventually became steward to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials. Potiphar's wife tried and successfully to seduce him, and after false accusations were leveled at him, he was imprisoned. Due to his ability to interpret Pharaoh's dream, he was made governor of Egypt. He wisely rationed the country's produce in preparation for a time of famine. During the famine, Jacob's sons came to Egypt to plead with Joseph for supplies. They did not recognize him, but after he was satisfied that they were reformed, he identified himself with great joy. Joseph invited his father and brothers to come and settle in Egypt. This story in the Bible is one of my most loved stories because I can absolutely relate from Joseph's experiences. His experiences in life is a mix of good and bad circumstances. Before he became a successful governor of Egypt, he went through a lot of trials and hardships. Despite these misfortunes and hardships, he remained faithful to God, and God blessed him from being accused. He became absolved. From being rejected to accepted. From a prisoner to a great leader. My experiences in life may not be totally similar with Joseph, but there are some parts of it that bear semblance with his. At this point of time, please allow me to share my roller coaster of a journey in becoming one of the top 7 of the board licensure examination for professional teachers last October 2022. Let me take you back to my college life here in PNU. My student life was not easy because I came from a poor family and my parents were separated. During my first year, I moved to my boarding house having 300 pesos only in my wallet as an allowance for the first week of class. I was also worried about what clothes to wear because I only have few formal school clothing. I couldn't buy new ones because our family was financially struggling at that time because our house in Palo Leyte was destroyed during the Typhoon Yolanda. My mama, who is here, Mama Eden, who is an RW, thank you so much for being here. My Mama Vanji and Papa Artem, thank you so much for being here. My sister, Rochelle and Jelly, and to my brother who's not here because he has an examination at Philippine Normal University. Thank you so much. My mom was an RW and her income was only sufficient for the renovation of our house, for my two siblings' needs, and for my school and boarding house expenses. To sustain myself and continue my studies, I looked for part-time jobs such as tutoring kids in CDL. I also came to the point of doing some of my board mates' laundry just so I could earn money. There were times that my parents' financial assistance for me was delayed. So my option is to borrow money from my classmates and friends or even from the office. I've also experienced paying my boarding house rental behind schedule, but thanks to my magnanimous landlord who understood and considered my delayed payments, I was able to stay at my boarding house. One of my struggles during my undergraduate study was being deprived of having a personal computer or a laptop or an Android phone. I was a loyal user of keypad phone back then. Thanks to God for the lives of my generous friends and classmates who had willingly shared their resources with me, and to the 24-hour available computer shops where I've done my school requirements. In the aspect of academics, I couldn't boldly say that I have done my best as a student. I can still clearly remember my first day of class here as a freshman. It was really unforgettable because I got 0 during our quiz in natural science. Luckily, I wasn't the only one who got 0. Because of that discouraging experience, I doubted and asked myself, paano ko dito ako dito sa inyo? Kabay ko sa aking mga classmates, ako pa siguro bugo dali. At that time, I didn't have any idea of Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, so I have embraced myself. There were also times that I was complacent and indolent in complying my course requirements. I even got a 76/INC in one of my major courses. I barely graduated in 4th year because of my impulsive decision to engage in a romantic relationship. I even thought this is a reality. I even thought I impregnated my girlfriend at that time. And we even lived together for 2 months, and my internship performance was affected. I know Sir Lavo will always remember this because he was our internship supervisor during that time. But God was so gracious that He gave us a chance to fix ourselves and gave us a false positive result, so we parted ways. The breakup and the moving on process was never easy. Through the passionate and sincere guidance of my professors, who compelled me to keep on track, I ended up wearing my graduation gown last April 2019. That was April 5, 2019, but without any Latin honor. This is the area of my student life where I had regrets because I did not give my best. I had no motivation and never aimed for exemplary performance, just the average or the least mediocre. What I had in mind was to graduate in college only so that I can get a job in the future. This is the very reason why I did not take my studies seriously and earnestly. I would like to make it clear that I will never be proud of this mediocrity that I have displayed in the past. This was a wrong perspective. I should have done my best in my studies as an undergraduate student. After graduation, I resolved not to take the September 2019 licensure exam. I would like to give myself a break because of the struggles that I have encountered on that year. I decided to volunteer as a full-time church servant at our church in Managua, but because of my mother's plea that she would love me to spend time with my biological father Ika-Pito, I respected and obeyed her decision. I went to my father in Luzon, unaware that they agreed together to enroll me in a review center. However, I wasn't motivated at that time. I tried to attend review classes, but I seriously did not feel it to take the September 2019 exam. I argued with my parents and insisted to put off the examination and worked in a BPO company as a customer service representative instead. As conflict cannot be avoided, according to Karl Marx, my papa and I had a misunderstanding and that caused me to come back in Managua to City. There, I tried to apply in several private schools, but I was not hired because I am not a licensure exam passer. So I decided to work in a telemarketing company, but the job was not for me, so I resigned. Then, the COVID-19 pandemic commenced. The pandemic period was really challenging for me because I was jobless at that time. I desperately applied for online teaching jobs, but I was not qualified because, again, I did not have a license. That made me fully realize how important a teaching license is. During this time, my eagerness in taking the exam aroused. However, I don't have any money to file for the board exam and to enroll myself in a review center, which I really believe will help me refresh my bygone knowledge and will help me top the board exam. Seeing the first batch and the next batches of my BMC classmates who successfully took the licensure exam exhorted me to pursue taking the lead. They also encouraged me to top the exam since I am the last person who graduated in our class who will take it. I strategized to earn and save money so that I can enroll in a review center. Last year, I worked for my dream in topping the lead. I was a caretaker of our church. I continued tutoring kids. I worked as a carpenter and construction helper. I also worked as a coal miner. Because of these jobs, I was able to enroll in a review center. Hard work and disciplined expenditure is indeed God's best provision. During the review, I moved from Managua to San Francisco. To provide for my review expenses, I looked for people who will also take the October 2022 licensure exam, who were deprived of enrolling themselves due to financial constraints. I tutored them, and in turn, they paid me in a very affordable amount, and that sufficed my review needs. Glory to God, and they all passed the exam too. Another good opportunity also came at this time. A very good friend and classmate of mine, Mary Joyce Dugam, she's here, informed me that Divine Mercy Interactive School is in need of a teacher. Even if I don't have license yet, I immediately tried to apply, and I thank the principal of the said institution, Ma'am Mariana Ferraza Salvani, for trusting my ability despite the fact that my teaching license is still in the way. My employment made my review experience more challenging. It was never easy to work from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. and join my review class in the evening from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. Thrice or sometimes 4 times a week for 4 months. It was also during this time that I became sleepless nights and exhausting days. I couldn't imagine how I survived in these challenging times. It was all by the grace and goodness of God. He sustained me with His strength. He used people and circumstances to compel me to keep on going. Now, let me share to you who am I as a reviewee. When I was a freshman, I didn't have any idea about the board exam or topping the lead or about the recognition for top-notchers. My desire of becoming a top-notcher had started during Ma'am Ariana's first parade. That was the very first time that I participated at Torch Parade and witnessed the recognition of a top-notcher. After that transformative event, I started to dream and desire to top the lead. On the following year, Sir Arnold Abadjano topped the lead, and his success fueled my desire of becoming a top-notcher even more. I even communicated with him. I posted our convo in Facebook. Maybe some of you have read that. I even communicated with him through chat that I would love to be a top-notcher too. He gave me some tips and declared, malay natin, ikaw ang sunod, so tingnan mo ba sa inyo ang apelido na O ang last. That was a very powerful declaration because on the following year, Ma'am Stella Lorenzo topped the licensure exam. O diba? O ang last. And in the last 2019 exam, na could see Sir Bangero among the group. So nabi, what's with O in PNU? Is it because O rhymes with you? Every time my seniors would make it to the top, I would secretly tell myself that I would be like them too. Secretly, I wasn't expressive. One day, PNU Mindanao will lay on a church parade for me. I also dreamt of my graduation picture with my rank as a top-notcher posted at the entrance of the campus. It wasn't just my seniors who motivated me. Sorry, Butch, I couldn't say it. It wasn't just my seniors who motivated me to pursue in topping the lead, but my batchmates also. Last September 2019 licensure exam, PNU Mindanao produced not just one, but 4 top-notchers, namely Ma'am Jeanette Vidal, Sir Julius Bangero, Sir Rizal Rosari, and Ma'am Isaya Ambag. I communicated with one of them. I communicated with Miss Isaya Ambag and asked her advice on how to top the board licensure examination for professional teachers. The best advice that I learned from her is to fully trust and honor God whatever is the result of the exam. Her advice became my prayer too. I prayed to God that I will still praise and thank Him even if I will fail the exam or I will not make it to the top. I am fully aware of my dream, but I know that the dream without action is just an imagination. So I decided to work more to reach my dream. As a reviewee who was aiming to top the licensure exam, I've set a standard for myself. I discipline and train myself. I've done extra mile reviews, like I would not let the day pass without learning something that is related to the board exam. During review classes, I would typically aim for high scores during assessments. I also aimed to top the mock board exams, and I was able to top twice. Because of these efforts, I was confident when I took the lead. I knew that I could pass the exam. I just hope and wait that if my desire to top will be granted. I told God that I have done my part. I have studied and focused during my review, and in my life be done. I've also prayed, Lord, beside top 7 na lang, Capito, bidaw ako apelido. Yes, this is really serious. I prayed for this. Indeed, God is a very gracious God. He granted my desire because He has a beautiful purpose on this. I realized that having this success is not just all about me. This victory is not just mine, but also the victory of the entire Inang Pamantasan, especially Philippine Normal University. I would forever be grateful to God for counting me this achievement. I fully believe that it was Him who allowed all those good and bad circumstances to happen in my life, just as in the life of Joseph, to prepare my heart in receiving this great blessing because it takes the right character to be here. It took me 5 years of waiting for this day that I would deliver this exhortation in front of you. I thought I was delayed in taking the board licensure examination for professional teachers. But I have faith that the delay was part of God's amazing plan for me. He taught me to be patient because great success does not come in a blink of an eye. Rome wasn't built in a day. It needs to be worked out just as building a beautiful house would take more expenses, effort, hard work, and time. The lyrics of the song, Seasons by Hillsong says that though our waiting prolongs, the harvest it brings is even greater. I don't know what season are you at in your life right now. You might be in the season of struggles and hardships. Always remember that sorrows may last for the night, but joy comes in the morning. You might be in the season of waiting. Thank God for it. He's preparing your heart for a great blessing you deserve. I am forever grateful to God's hand and feet who have helped me in one way or another in reaching this success. To my family and relatives, my Papa Melchor who is in Cavite, Papa Ronde, my stepfather who is in Malulete now because he can't come, Papa Arden, my third father. Actually, I have 3 fathers. This is really amazing. Mama Eden, my biological mother. I have 2 mothers, Mama Vanji, Papa Raul, my supportive uncle, Uncle Alex, Mama Jay, Kenneth, my brother, Rochelle, Eugene, Isitel, I love you so much. Naging tayo, first licensed professional teacher sa akong plan. My BMC family, ako classmate dali. Baka sa likod. I couldn't see you guys. Ako lang kitaan si Kim. Thank you for coming and supporting me. My DMIS colleagues, even if they're not here, they posted a video greeting for me on Facebook that they were also proud. They are also proud of me. Kai Alpha family, meron pa ba tayo kay Alpha dito? Gideon, yung president ako ng kay Alpha before. Team 4, Team Swamos, Sakasag family, Pinya Mindanao, faculty and staff, salamat din kayo sa inyong tanan. And to Patulan Study Center, my brothers and sisters in the body of Christ, friends, batchmates, I can see batchmates here, Mr. Aguilar and Mr. Napalan. Thank you so much for proofreading my speech. My teachers from kindergarten until master's degree. To those who have motivated me to top the exam. Words that describe all the things in my heart, but I will endeavor to try. Thank you. Would it be fine if those who are aiming to top the board exam when they will take it, would raise their hands. Sino po ba dito ang gusto mag-top sa board exam? Amazing, no? Maybe it will come to the point that topping the board exam here in PNU will not be an issue. Normal na lang siya. Do you believe in that? Wala na lang ganyan mga tao sa gawas. Normal, kung nasa PNU mag-top, di naman sila katingalahan. Just as what Sir Lavo told me in our group chat. Ano siya, di na kumukuhan. Wala na ko na-expect. I know. We can do it. Okay, sino ba dito yung gusto mag-top? For those who are aiming to become a top notcher, nasan ba mga 4th year? I can see many top notchers. Effective ba yan ang Rosenthal effect? Do you know what's Rosenthal effect? Rosenthal effect is when you are pressured, no? Or you are motivated, maniniwala ka rin na kaya mo. Okay? Okay, again, for those who are aiming to become a top notcher, let me leave you these tips. Number 1, just as what I've done, desire for it. Do you have the desire? Hindi na naman? Narapang mo excuses, ay gusto ba na ako major? Dali ka mag-top sa PED. You know what? The technique if you have a major is to focus on your major, not your course. Because the professional education and general education would be a piece of cake for you because you have a major. So what you're gonna do is focus more on your major. Number 2, pray for it. Do not leave God. I've read a quote before and I cannot acknowledge the author of this quote. I've already forgotten. I've read this a very long time ago. And that quote says that if you leave God in your reasoning, you have forgotten how to count. So in everything that we do, we should acknowledge God. Number 3, work for it. So don't just pray, desire, don't just pray. Work for it. Study, enroll in a review center, or if you're comfortable to study by yourself, then do it. Collect some reviewers. And number 4, wait and pray for it. I've aimed to become a top notcher. However, it was granted after 5 years. And number 5, praise God for His will. Wala kang tao or estudyante nga nanikamot at kasagitan sa Ginoo. Lastly, let me leave you these verses from the Bible. Isaiah 60:22 says, "The smallest family will become 1,000 people, and the tiniest group will become a mighty nation. At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord." It is the Lord who declares. It is not just a mere human being, but it is the Lord, maker of the heaven and earth. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Once again, this is Mr. Alexander Robin and Capito, Top 7, October 2022, License for Examination for Professional Teachers. Thank you everyone. Panatilihin po natin nagniningas ang sulo ng karunungan ng ating mahal na inang pamantasan. Mabuhay PNU Mindanao. To God be all the glory. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Capito. I trust that our students present today are now motivated to top the exam.